Hello! I think that worked. Fucking hell. You have no idea, YouTube people. You have no idea how rushed I was there. I did not give myself enough time to prepare. But that's fine. We're here now. Just to have a bit of an inkling as to what's been going on there. Oh shit, it hasn't even worked. Brilliant, it just says figures and iPlayer, which is not what it says. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. It should say the right thing. I did my prep work, and I did a very good job of it, I think you'll find. So it now should say, this week's top story, music, which is the top story. And I'm also in need of closing Photoshop. So it was a bit of an insight as to what I was doing there. Like in the minute lead up, as you saw this sort of graphic. I also realised my camera's cut off there. That is intriguing. Look at that. Wowee. Oh wow, it's a cut from both sides. Amazing. Anyway, here we are. There we go. We exist now. Welcome to the live stream, everyone. Welcome back to the Who Bulletin, episode 4, I think. This has been a really interesting week for Doctor Who news, so there's going to be a lot to talk about today. I'm going to move this over here a little bit, just so you guys can see me a little bit better. But before we talk about all the lovely new Doctor Who news, it's time to say hello to all of you lovely lot in the audience. Welcome to the live stream today. Welcome to Cybernova, DW, Dr. Master, Alternate 13th. Welcome you too. Gary Crew, Midnight Moon Wolf, The Underhenge, Thunder King 24, Trekopedia, and I'm thinking those are all the same names. Edward Hulse, Paul Malley, Adam Hassel. Where's the pork pie? I've got a pork pie. Don't worry. If George is in a rush, he has a pork pie. Because I haven't had a chance to eat it before the stream. Welcome Metahovian, welcome Zona Positivia. So in the last week we've had two big bits of news. One being, God, I look fucking ill today. That's the rush. This is the first Who Bulletin I've been able to make live. Well, that's great news. Thank you for joining. We'll be here, if you're wondering, we'll be here doing the Who Bulletin, brand new Doctor Who live news show every single Tuesday at 7 o'clock. So you can stay tuned for more of them. Here, though, today we've got two new bits of news to talk about. One about Steph Coburn and the Unearthly Child, or the Tribe of Gum, whichever we'll talk about in just a bit. But the big news, the most exciting news, is the new music. As you can see by me putting them on my YouTube channel, I'm very excited about them, but I didn't really share much of my thoughts other than on Twitter, so I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a chance to kind of, let's talk about that new music from the 60th concert. For context, if you didn't know, there was the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who musical concert held a few weeks ago, open to ballots, so anyone could randomly get a ticket. I didn't get a ticket, unfortunately, but excitingly, they've released it on BBC Radio or BBC Sounds, and you can listen to it in full now, the full concert, 2 hours. It's brilliant, and there are a lot of exciting things in there. Not just the new music, there are some other new bits of music in there as well, and variations upon old music. So I'm going to talk about a lot of that today. As you may have seen, that I did post the 15th Doctor's theme, Ruby's theme, and the new Doctor Who theme tune over on the YouTube channel already this week. So if you're coming from those videos and you're new here, welcome to the Who Bulletin. We're going to be talking about these themes mainly today, and then followed by some breakdowns of two other tracks that I want to talk about from the concert, one of which also hasn't been released, and the other one I'm convinced is a variant of a thing that also hasn't been released, so I'm interested to talk about that as well, but we will see. So yeah, let's have a look at what people are saying in the chat. Hello, got to love the pot pie. Can't wait to hear your thoughts on the new music. Honestly, I love Ruby's theme, so very new and lovely. Will Ace Creeper return? I'm here, man. What do you think this is? I'm here doing my thing. I might not be called Ace Creeper, but come on. Like, this is me, we're here, we're doing a thing. It's fun, it's a great time. This is the WHO Bulletin. It's exactly the same person who's behind it, so join in, why not? It'll be fun. Theme's great, says DTP. Due to Ruby's theme being more classical and the Renaissance episode coming up, I would love to see if Ruby was out of time from the past. Leave an unearthly child alone. 15's theme feels like the start of a western that goes very Mandalorian-y and very action-y. The music is so good. The 15th theme is fantastic. Do you like the new theme? We'll talk about what I think in just a bit. So what we're gonna... Am I out of focus? I feel like I'm a little bit out of focus. There we go. That's not very professional, but there we go. Let's talk about this. So what we've got is we've got the different themes. So I'm going to open them. I'm going to open them all, and we will listen to them in their entirety. Because at the moment, they're not copyrighted because they haven't been officially released. Obviously, people could see that as a bit of a piss take, as I've made very, very clear with all of these. I have made absolutely no money on these. I don't intend to make any money off of these videos that are going out. It's simply just for people to be able to hear it, and if anyone official from the BBC wants me to take them down, then I'm more than happy to at a moment's notice. Same with this live stream. I'm happy to snip these segments of me actually listening to the music completely out of it altogether. So if there is anyone out there who's a little bit concerned about, well, why is he just posting them on his channel to get views? Yeah, again, be aware, monetization is off for these videos, and I am simply reacting to them and listening to them and playing them, not only for you guys to be able to hear it in a more sort of an easier context, but also to kind of break it down and kind of talk about it more conveniently than trying to hide it. And the music hasn't been officially released yet, so it means that the content ID system on YouTube doesn't immediately strike us down. But yeah, there's ways and means, but that is my thinking around it. Maybe it's legit. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that's not a good thing. Who knows? But I'm going to get your chat up here, guys, just so I can read your guys' comments. So, what should we listen to first? You guys can decide. We should listen to 15, Life of Sunday, Doctor Who theme. There's a fly on my fucking light. Could have got it. So, I'll let you... Actually, should we do a poll? Can you do polls in here? You can do a poll. Okay. Add option. Ruby's theme 15 new theme tune. What should we talk about first? And then let's start the poll. So you guys should be able to vote in that now, which is great. It's up on your screen now, should be in the chat. You can vote for either Ruby's theme 15 or the new theme tune, whatever we'll talk about first. I don't know how long these polls last. The new theme tune seems to be winning at the moment. I will let that happen whilst I eat a pork pie. Cool, seems that's what we're getting. So, most people have voted for the new theme tune. We'll end the poll there. That was good. So, most of you vote for the new theme tune, then 15, then Ruby's theme. So we'll do that exact order. So, let's listen to the new theme tune from Murray Gold. Let me know if it's too quiet, let me know if it's too loud, all that jazz. You can't hear it, can you? I just realised it's not coming up on the desktop. That's great. That's a great one, George. Nice one. Nice one. There we go, you can hear it now. Just want to make sure. So that's really, really cool. There's a lot to break out there. A lot of people had a bit of criticism on here. Obviously, bear in mind that this is the live orchestratic version of the theme. Go back to BBC at the Proms in 2008. Go back to BBC at the Proms in 2013. Go to any of the concert live playings of the theme tune. They never sound exactly like they do on TV. So I'm expecting this to be a little bit of the new theme, but also it's not going to be exactly like this. It's only 15's theme and Ruby's theme that I would expect to say very similar, because all the other sort of scores are kind of thing. But the Doctor Who theme has a lot of moving parts, it always does. So, yeah, I feel like it will sound slightly different. But I do love a few things. I love the starting bit. Murray Gould obviously puts a few inflections sometimes on his intros. This has got that. It's got the essence of Tennant with the do 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 that bit, which I don't think the other themes had. Matt Smith's was more like that sort of mysterious kind of dun 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 that bit, and then Capaldi just had the drum beat, as did Whittaker. So this is going back a little bit to Tennant with that. And that epic kind of build into the theme is great. I love the sort of bass drop of Sagan's theme, but this bit is just... That's just really cool. The theme itself is basic. It's just kind of orchestral. It's like we've heard that sort of thing before. Really, really good. And then we get to the middle eight and we hear a chorus singing the middle eight, which is just incredible. And Murray Gould gets the middle eight right this time as well, which is really exciting. And that sort of transitions back into the theme really differently to the middle eight usually does. So that's interesting and new. I'm not a big music nerd, so I don't really know all the terminology and all the right descriptions, but I'm just a fan who's having fun with it and likes to listen to the themes and notice little trends. And obviously, everyone's complimented the little piano bit there, very similar to McGann's theme, where it has a little bit of random piano things. Well, as soon as I heard that, I was like, feels very McGann, and I love that. So that bit... It's kind of like, just great. You've got a lot of different bits of... a lot of different instruments, a lot of flares, a lot of personality in this theme. There's a lot going on, which, when played at an orchestra, can sound a bit overbearing. But I think when the final mix is played on the episode for the Star Beast, when we hear it for the first time and see the title sequence, I think it will be probably one of the best versions of the theme tune, personally. Because the thing for me, the key thing for me is, first of all, like, the general sound and the instrumentation. Like, I know when something's good and when something isn't. I never really liked this Matt Smith's second theme for Series 7. I didn't really like Capaldi's theme, because they both seem very whiny and very synthetic, whereas the orchestraic versions of especially Series 5, very good. And Series 4's theme, really good. Whittaker's was interesting, very different, but it really pushed the drum bass a little bit more, and I really like that. This feels like a combination of all my favourite elements, and also it gets the middle eight right, which is always exciting. The middle eight's one of the best parts of the Doctor Who theme. The opening is exciting, builds into the theme really nicely. You've got the chorus in there, which you had in Matt Smith's first theme for Series 5, which I always loved about that theme. A lot of different instruments going on, a lot of different flares. Yeah, you could consider them sort of musical references to old eras, but I think this is incredible. Capaldi's theme's not for me. It's very whiny, and I just don't think it's got as much personality into it, and I feel like I love his era, but the theme tune and the title sequence especially, not my favourite, not my favourite. It was exciting at the time, but I'm excited for what's going to come with this. This theme tune's great. I'm excited to see or hear what the actual title sequence is going to look like. Hear the title sequence? That makes sense, George. 15th Doctor's theme, it's 3.5 minutes, so I'll probably pause it and talk through it a little bit as well. Initial reaction is when I first heard this, I was like, it's good. It doesn't hit as hard for me as like other ones. now I've been listening to it all week on my commute to work and stuff. This is absolutely one of my favourite, like, Doctor action themes. The thing that I love about Murray Gold with these new tracks, and maybe it's a bit of a presumptuous statement, but I think that, at least I feel that he's taken a few years off, he's worked on some other things, he's come back with a fresh, like, slate for Doctor Who, and I love that. You know, with Series 10, I love the music in it. Obviously, we all want to hear the music from it, but a lot of it is, you know, you're bringing back old themes, especially Twice Upon a Time. Obviously, was a bit of a swan song as well for Murray Gold, using a lot of old themes, but I just kind of like, it never really had, you know, I feel like this has so much more energy going into it, and I think I'm so much more excited by that. So yeah, let's play a little bit of it, and then let's talk about it. Just on the intro, because we're going to talk about that, obviously it's a big part of it, immediate, like, war vibes, Western vibes. If you go back and listen to, I can't remember the guy's name, I think it's, I know who I'm referring to, I think Emil, nah, it's not that, no, it's not, it's something like that. I know what I'm talking about, I want to get it right. Ennio Morricone, that's it. It began with an E and an M. Now I got the initials right. Ennio Morricone, which is familiar with a lot of like spaghetti western films, feels very like this. That opening, again, very exciting. Love that. So it gives me a lot of those vibes, which is not what I was expecting with this theme, and I wasn't loving it at first. I'm not gonna lie, like I kind of hit me a little bit. I was like, ooh, I don't know how I feel about this as a Doctor's theme. I don't know if it fits Ncuti. I mean, we don't know what he's going to be like as a Doctor, but I was like, ooh, this is interesting. I wasn't expecting this. I'd expect this to be assigned to like a Doctor with like an army jacket, you know. And then when you get the sort of the wind instruments in, you get a lot more of a sense of scale. I think what this theme does really well is the build-up. The hype that gets built up throughout this piece is so exciting. Like, it builds and builds and builds and builds, and the payoff is great. You have like a motif. Dun 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 dun. That's like the motif of the 15th Doctor, right? But like, this has like a motif in itself with the build-up. Like, that in itself has a different theme and style, in the same way that the 11th Doctor's theme, right, I Am the Doctor, like, had the main bit, which is a dun 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 dun, right? But we also had a lot of different elements, like the dun 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 dun, and you've got the other inflections in that theme. It's a long piece of music, and if you listen to the whole thing, you forget how many parts of I Am the Doctor there are. And I think it'll be the same with the 15. This is really exciting. That's so exciting. That bit there, very Murray Gold, very Russell T Davies in that sort of style. It's sort of like, I don't know how to describe it other than like a sort of, sounds daft, but like a bit of a cheeky trombone. I know how that sounds, but like, it's sort of kind of like a bit sassy. It reminds me of like The Runaway Bride, like Doctor and Donna almost, and Martha Jones as well. That sort of era, Series 3, Series 4 gives me a lot of those vibes. And again, you're building towards something here, and it feels good. So that isn't like another motif in there that I feel could be. It gives me Capaldi vibes almost with A Good Man. That sort of high brass sound. And you got that army sound going underneath the whole way through. And then we get the trombones or the wind instruments, but I don't know what instruments it is. I'm just talking bollocks, really. But wind instruments, definitely. That bit comes back in. So then you've got this build up here, and it's, even though the next bit is kind of like a payoff to the build up, it's still building. And I think that's what's exciting about this theme, is it builds for so long. It's exciting. It's not like a build up and you're like waiting for it. It's exciting all the way through, and it's still building up even when you think it might be paying off. Like, it's very good. Here we go. So that build up. And then we've got to like a high point there, and then we get the army stuff back in before bringing us into the main motif of the 15th Doctor. That build up is so exciting. Like, I couldn't help but grin. Like, it just kind of, like, obviously, and I've always said this, like, whatever you think of Geordie's era, I've had my up and downs of Geordie's era. And one of the main highs for me is Sego Nakanola. Absolutely phenomenal composer. He gets slept on quite a lot because his style's very different to Murray Gold, but it's a very hard act to follow, and he's very early in his career, and I actually think a lot of his music is excellent, Sego Nakanola. What I'm a bit disappointed with him was the way he released his music with Doctor Who soundtracks, is he released the tracks not as themes like Murray did, but actually 10 minutes of like the score of the episode, which has a lot of ambient silences in and noises and stuff, which is good, but the main thing you're waiting for is in there, and the thing in there is gorgeous, but it takes you a while to listen to it. So it's sort of like, I always skip sometimes, not always, but I skip sometimes the Sego Nakanola tracks when I'm listening on Spotify. But so what I'm trying to say is basically absolutely love Sego Nakanola's music, and nothing I say in terms of positivity towards Murray Gold is by no means a negative to Sego Nakanola. I absolutely adore his work, and I think he was a blessing for Doctor Who, and it's a shame that he didn't get to stay a bit longer. But that being said, God, this makes me feel like a kid again. You know, Murray Gold, this style of music with Russell, you can just imagine all the scenes where this is going to play, and that excites me. You know, you never really know what Doctor Who is going to be like when it comes back with Shooter. You don't know what the style is going to be like and how it's going to be. This gives you a flavour of it, and it's so exciting. Dun, dun, dun. So then you've got that main motif bit there, which is definitely the payoff of the track. I think that the build-up and the payoff is again, super exciting. That's the main motif of the 15th Doctor, definitely, what we assume anyway. The dun 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 dun. That seems to be his thing. We get a little bit of electric guitar in there as well. There's a lot of different inspiration here, but that sort of army kind of Western style is kind of running through the bottom of it, which is really nice as well. And they're building up again. So a lot of people have been pointing out that bit. I'm not sure whether this is the bit they're pointing to, where they're talking about all the strange creatures, but it does give Series 3, Series 4... Actually, I'd probably say Series 5 and 6 Murray Gold vibe as well, with the sort of build-up there. I swear I've heard this bit of music before. Choir, the chorus as well, very Matt Smith-like, but with a very unique stamp on it. A lot of people, it's very easy to sort of brand a Doctor's theme into the sort of same bracket, but they are always going to be similar. This is great, and it feels unique and fresh and new, and it's exciting, and I love that. That's just sick, isn't it? Really, really cool. Oh yeah, for them Cybernova messaging there. Yes, I do have the old Geordie subscribe thing on here, and that's because I found it recently, and I was like, oh, I may as well activate that since I'm now doing frequent YouTube streams. So if you do subscribe, your name should appear on screen. I must have missed it that time if it did pop up, so I'm sorry about that. Does it appear? Did it appear on screen? Yeah, it should have done. So yeah, you're more than welcome to subscribe. Thank you all for joining so far. Let me know what you think about the 15th Doctor's theme, so while I waffle about it, and then I can read your guys' opinions after. I think this is brilliant. I've already talked about how much I love it. I think it's a great piece of music. It really gets me very excited about Murray Gold coming back, and it shows a lot of promise. It's been on repeat on my phone, listening to music, either at work, on the way to work, on the way back from work. I have been constantly and consistently listening to this piece of music, and every time I listen to it, it goes higher and higher in my estimations. And I kind of think as well that obviously you guys are probably listening to this as well, but like I think you should listen to it as well, like more frequently, because I know that when it happens on screen, like in the giggle, if Shooty enters the sort of scene, or even at the Christmas special, when you have one of these moments. Oh, it's going to be so exciting. When you are familiar with the music as well, it'll feel weirdly nostalgic to you. So I kind of look forward to that, because we've never had that with Doctor Who before. We always hear the music after it comes out, sometimes a few years after it comes out. But super, super exciting. But yeah, that familiar bit is very potent in Moffat's era. I think it's in I Am the Doctor. And the Doctor's wife, yes. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I know what you mean. Dun, 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 dun. Because that, I think it's a little bit as well, Bells of St. John. Because what Murray did with the I Am the Doctor theme in that season was like, it sort of doesn't escalate in tone, it's just dun 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 dun. So it's like very much of the same thing, a little bit up the Sheard vibes. But yeah, all that Matt Smith era, that gives me vibes of very classic Murray. Edward Hulse, I love 15. It's a great Doctor theme, big, bold, and brash, just like we need it to be. Really enjoying all the new tracks, says Trekkipedia. Yeah, some great insights there. Let's talk about the life of Sunday. And then we have a couple of other tracks to talk about as well, which aren't on YouTube and not really been talked about yet, but I want to kind of talk about and break down and kind of make you guys aware of, because there's a lot of... I will go on record and say, yeah, you've got the theme, you've got Ruby's theme, you've got 15's theme. There's two other tracks in the 60th thing that haven't been released, as far as I'm concerned. You might, when you see what I'm talking about, you might say 1.5. But definitely at least one. The second one, I'm going to try and convince you guys. But let's start by listening to Ruby Sunday's theme. The longest theme, we've got 4 minutes long, so we're going to, again, definitely talk probably through this with on the background. This has a slow start, and it's a piano start. A lot of people talking, welcome, Mr. TARDIS. Are you streaming, my friend? No, I'm not streaming. Oh, welcome. I wasn't sure if I was being invaded again there. I thought you were going to give me payback for last week. Welcome, man. How you doing? Hope you're well. We're talking about Doctor Who music and listening live and kind of breaking down our thoughts on it. A lot of people spoke about this theme on Twitter and sort of compared it to the staged music, which is very good. I love those memes. I would again say that it's just a waltz, you know what I mean? It's that sort of very similar style. There's a lot of themes like this in classical music, but this is... Oh, yes, you did stream yesterday. I did see that, yes. But this theme is gorgeous. You know, you listen to it slow and you listen to it kind of more like grandiose towards the end of this track with the violins and the full orchestra. It's fantastic. Well, you know, it's a great theme and it fills a lot of promise. But we'll play. As God intended. let's go to that first bit of the track, which is very classical waltz. People point this out. A lot of people making jokes about staged, and it's very funny because this stage just uses classical music and it uses classical waltzes. It's kind of a bit funky and a bit cheeky, and that kind of works well with that vibe of that show. So the reason people probably can't unhear it is because it's taking inspiration from those sort of classical waltzes and is bringing a new theme into it, and I think it works really nicely. I love that from Mr. TARDIS, yeah. When I listen to this, I think of Ruby walking down the London streets in the rain, no idea why. That's just where my mind goes to. Yeah, and I love that, and I think it's this sort of thing, again, she's almost like a lost soul. You know, there's obviously rumours of the story, and maybe confirmation of the story being about her being adopted, and not knowing who her parents are, and being sort of lost in time a little bit. And I kind of like that whimsical feel of this track of not like uncertainty, and the motif being very carefully implemented here to be used elsewhere in the show. You know, other examples of that are like Rosa's theme and Amy's theme, I'd say. Amy's theme especially used for that sort of whimsical, you know, fairy tale like vibe at the beginning of Series 5, and then the emotional sort of death of the character in well, not death, but the Weeping Angel stuff in Angels Take Manhattan. That's the same theme, but played in a different style, that motif, and I think that's what's being built up here. This feels very emotional to listen to, so God knows what it's going to be like when it has context. I love that. Proper classical music vibes. So before we get into the sort of main chunk of the theme here, upcoming, I love the violin raising up and then kind of being brought back down by the piano. I think, again, a beautiful sort of symphony there. Murray Gold absolutely on form at all, as always. A lot of theories about Ruby's heritage and her character and what that's going to be like, but I absolutely love what this theme is doing so far, and it gives me a lot of hope for what her story might bring. How beautiful is that? I mean, it's a really gorgeous theme. That bit there gives me like severe Madman with a Box vibes. Madman in the Box. Just imagine again listening to this. Someone has already said this. Yeah, Walker said, in this crescendo bit makes me visualise her seeing the TARDIS interior for the first time. This is the bit for me that makes me envision that. That bit there is stunning. Love that. And then it closes off again with piano. Excellent. A gorgeous, gorgeous piece of music again. Absolutely blown away by that. What do you guys think of it? I think it's quite a slow one. It's not one that I listen to on repeat, I've got to say. Simply it's got a slow build up, but it's an absolutely gorgeous bit of music, and I can't wait to see how they incorporate this theme into the show. It's not like, yeah, but this is why I like when things are released in this sort of sense, right? Like 13th Doctor had her theme, and again, I'm not trying to criticize Second Akinola. But again, just in the way like themes are released, if we had like Yaz, Dan, Graham, Ryan, they all have their own individual themes. The Fam has a theme, the TARDIS has a theme, but they're not released as the theme. They're released part of multiple other tracks. So you can't really work out what's supposed to be Yaz's theme, but there is a clear theme. There's some videos breaking it down. I can't remember which YouTuber, but they're brilliant videos, and they really break down the motifs of those characters, and then when you watch the show, you can't really unhear it anymore. You're sort of like, oh my god, that's the music for that character. That makes complete sense. But they're very similar. That's the thing, and then they all kind of complement each other because it's about like that dynamic of that team, the fam, you know. But basically, having a theme released that is very just uncategorically. What am I trying to say? Unapologetically, just the companion theme. Richard Lloyd did it. That's the right one. Yes. In fact, Richard Lloyd. I'm not going to play it on stream. I'll let you go and listen to it yourself. But I can't remember when it was. But it was a while back now. But I was super impressed by it. I was like, this is great because it's a proper. Oh my god, when was it? It was the themes of the character. Dan's theme, music recreation. So you got a bit of that there. I can't remember which video it was. There was a one, but oh, here it is. Here, so you had Graham's theme, Yaz's theme, Ryan's theme. You can find these videos obviously in your own time, but they are class. They didn't get viewed by they're not didn't pop off like massively, but definitely go and check them out. Honestly, they're really, really good, and they really break down every track that their theme appears in as well. So you can kind of spot it from a mile off, and I think that's really, really good to check out. So definitely go and check out these videos. They're really, really good. So yeah, that's all I'll say on that. And obviously Grace's theme there as well. So yeah, I'd say that. Now let's talk about the two other tracks that I'm convinced by. So the one is more obvious. I am a good man. So there was a new track. Not only a new track, like initially, but an actual track that is confirmed to have a title, which is also exciting. There was a track released on the 60th music celebration. Now I'm just going to play it from YouTube because it's easier, but it's a 2.5 minute track, and I'll show you this video uploaded by Oswin Pond, who again, great YouTuber, breaks down music all the time, really, really great stuff. This is our second played live, clean recording of a Series 10 track. The other being Bill's theme. But this is the one from Twice Upon a Time. It's the one where the 12th Doctor and 1st Doctor accepts that they have to move on, and the 1st Doctor regenerates. So I'll play this in its full entirety. You know this theme already. You've probably heard thousands of breakdowns of it, like extractions from the episode, trying to remove all the dialogue. But this is the official live recorded version from the 60th celebration, and it's brilliant. And there you go. So that is from Twice Upon a Time. It's gorgeous. You might notice a few different things in there. Obviously, it's a variation on A Good Man from Series 8. But the key thing from this track is obviously the repeat of not Veil de Sam, but actually Veil, just the track called Veil from the specials. It plays at the end of Waters of Mars. However, I think I've noticed something in this, listening to this properly, is that it does actually change the lyrics. Obviously it's in Latin, but obviously, or Veil de Sam or whatever, it's actually a Veil or Vale Unus, so U-N-U-S. And you can actually hear her singing those lyrics. So instead of Goodbye 10 or Farewell 10, it's Farewell 1. And I think that's such a fitting little change. And I'll play it again so you can hear it properly. So Vale Unus. So it's, again, a little change, goes a long way. Defines this track as its own for this version of the Doctor, not just replaying an old theme. This is a new one. Who did this music? This is from Murray Gold, and it was played at the 60th celebration. This was played at the concert, as was the 50th Doctor's theme, the new Doctor Who theme, Ruby's theme. This was also played. It's super exciting. So this is also our second released version of a Series 10 soundtrack. The other one was, of course, Bill's theme, which is an old one, but I'm not going to play on here because it's on the official BBC channel, so they probably will have a lot of copyright claims ready to go on that one. So it's a gorgeous little change there, the Veil, Vale Unus or Veil Unus. Bill's theme was played at a concert celebration, I believe, in the same building back in 2017 when the finale of World Enough in Time was played in front of... Oh, thank you very much for the subscription. I didn't even know that was a thing. I didn't even hear it. Where can I find it on YouTube? On YouTube, it's under Oswin Pond. I'll put a link to it in the chat, just to be fair. So there you go. And then you've got Bill's theme, which was played, again, as I say, when they did a live screening of World Enough in Time with a live orchestra, and they did a couple of interviews, and they did Bill's theme, and I'll play a little bit of that. That's on my Twitter, and I'll link it here if you want to listen to the whole thing in your own time, because I don't really want to talk about that too much, because it was from years ago. This is the official version of Bill's theme. It's the closest and cleanest copy of her theme that we've got to date. I'll skip a little bit in. Anyway, so that's we've got that now. That's linked in the chat if you want to find it. I'm not going to talk about that today because that was literally played like 6 years ago. The final one, which I wanted to contest. We all know Doomsday. We all know the track Doomsday, right? Now, for me, I'm trying to actually find... Maybe I shouldn't put desktop audio on it. That's not good. I'm going to avoid copywriting myself. So, Doomsday, we all know. It's a track that's been around since 2006, 2007. We all love it. It's a fantastic bit of music. However, there is a variation of Doomsday, one of my favourite variations of Doomsday, and it appears at the end of A Stolen Earth. It's when the 10th Doctor regenerates, and it's a much more orchestral, impactful version of the theme. I will find a little bit of that. Stolen Earth regen music will play EMS Productions, that's the flashback. Let's go with him and his version, so you can kind of see what I'm referring to here. Oh, hang on, you can't hear it. So it's a much more orchestral version that builds up. Dun 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 dun, and it has those. It has a different vibe to it. It's slightly more orchestral and like it's not like depressing, but it's emotional, and that's something that we've never had released. It's an unreleased track from Doctor Who history until, or at least until I believe, the Radio 2 celebration gave us, as part of the Doomsday track, gave us a little snippet of something that sounds very similar to that, and I'm honestly taking it. I think it sounds better. Not better, Doomsday's a fantastic track, but this part of Doomsday, the kind of Stolen Earth, more emotional, high-intensity version of this track, is super exciting to hear. So, I'm going to play a little snippet of that, so I don't get copyrighted. Oh. No. This is more emotional. And it's got that back bit. Dun, dun. I can hear the Doctor regenerating over this, you know? And then you got that sort of noise, and then to be continued. That's what I'm hearing. I think that bit at the end there was the bit from Stolen Earth. I think that's the Stolen Earth variation of Doomsday, which has never been released, but was played there. That was that. Obviously, it's going to sound different live on stage, so it might just be a slight variation of that. But that track, that regeneration track, anyway, is a variation of Doomsday. So to be able to hear a hugely orchestral version of that song, that's very high emotion, is super exciting. So yeah. Well, thank you anyway for sticking around, everyone. We're not going to go just yet. We're going to talk about some other BBC Doctor Who-y sort of stuff. We're going to touch upon the Unearthly Child stuff because it's quite unfortunate, but I feel like we should mention it. This is a sort of news show. If you're not aware already, on this channel we go live every single Tuesday at 7 PM UK time to talk about Doctor Who for an hour. The latest and greatest Doctor Who news, reviews, etc. And we are getting closer to the 60th anniversary special, so it's going to be a very, very exciting time. But yeah, and after these streams, we stream for about an hour or so, and then from about 8 o'clock-ish, we go over to Twitch and we play some video games. It's currently October, which means it's Halloween month, which means we're playing horror games. And this horror game that we're playing today is Five Nights at Freddy's 4, one that I have to listen very carefully to, and since I've got a feature enabled which allows viewers, you guys, you lovely people, to interact with my streams in ways that make things appear and sounds happen on my screen, it means you guys can basically distract me from playing the game in real time and probably get me to die and get jump scared. So that's fun. That's an incentive to join. So after we finish this live stream, we'll be heading over to twitch.tv/GBSheard. I'll put a link to that in the chat because I'm sure you'll all want to go there immediately after this stream ends. So feel free to head over there. But for now, we're going to talk about the Doctor Who stuff. Yeah. So on Unearthly Child, parts 1 to 4 will not be on the BBC iPlayer catalogue. This will not happen. It's not going to be happening because the copyright owner, Steph Coburn, currently, will not allow the BBC to have access to the episode. They won't renew the license for it. There are various reasons, and I'm not going to use this platform here to just belittle someone else, no matter how much of an arsehole they might be. But I'm not going to use that as a platform to sort of belittle them and just take the piss out of them or anything like that. The fact of the matter is, the son of the writer of those episodes, the original writer of those episodes before it was heavily adapted and changed and all that sort of thing, is not allowing rights. So yeah, that's happening as well, which means we're not going to see an Unearthly Child on iPlayer, but if you want to watch An Unearthly Child, there are various other ways to do it. I wouldn't obviously recommend pirating, but it is an option, as is buying the DVD fair and square from the BBC. I'm sure the BBC are probably going to fight this, to be honest, in terms of a copyright scenario, because the likelihood is the BBC have way more rights to this than the son of a writer whose work got immensely changed. I doubt he's got as much access to it as the BBC have. Obviously, there is a standard copyright procedure, so yeah, the BBC are probably going to fight that, I would have only thought. It seems that there are personal interests skewed as well. The person who's withholding the rights to this episode have very strong opinions on how the BBC should be making their programmes in terms of diversity, etc. And we're not going to go into detail on that. But he doesn't seem like a very nice individual. So you can have a look at all of this on Twitter. It's all there. But the main story today, obviously, is that An Unearthly Child will not be on the iPlayer back catalogue. Which is a shame, but yeah. The spokesperson from the BBC said the massive iPlayer back catalogue will be home to over 800 hours of Doctor Who content, making it the biggest ever collection of Doctor Who programming in one place, but will not include the first 4 episodes as we do not have all the rights to those. All the rights is an interesting way of phrasing it. So I'm kind of hoping that there are some other rights in play there. They probably have DVD rights still. So until they need to renew those rights, they'll probably still be able to distribute them. I would hope this would give them time to make a Season 1 collection box set. Let's have a look at a chart which kind of tells us how many episodes are missing from that season, because off the top of my head I can't really remember. But I think it's only Marco Polo, to be honest. Yeah, so it's only Marco Polo in its entirety that is missing from Season 1. Everything else is either still exists or has been animated, which means that, in theory, they definitely could release this box set. They would just have to find some replacement for Marco Polo. If I were the BBC, assuming that they haven't already animated or recreated Marco Polo for the 60th anniversary, which they probably won't have done, I would say the best method here, or the best approach here, would be to release a Season 1 box set. Release a full Season 1 box set and have a free space for where a disc could be at a later date for Marco Polo. It's better to do that than risk losing the Unearthly Child forever as part of these box sets. So I would leave a blank spot for where a DVD could go. And then in the future, if Marco Polo is recreated or animated or all that sort of thing, and is released officially as a DVD, you could put that in the box set, and you could design it around being an extension to the collection box set. Or you could offer to send it out to people who have already bought the collection box set, a little DVD with that on. It's completely up to them, but I would best, if there are dangers with the Unearthly Child being lost in terms of rights, and it could potentially be lost for up to 50 years, potentially. We don't know how long they're going to be lost for, these rights. I reckon they should get a move on with Season 1 and release it as a box set, just so we've got future proof for the collection box sets. It would be a shame to have to rush a box set like that, although Season 1 probably should have been on their list anyway, given it's the 60th anniversary coming up. It really makes sense. Yeah, the Season 2 is The Crusades, and there's only 2 episodes missing from Season 2. Season 3 would be a nightmare, so thank God there's no copyright owners being arseholes on that front. But yeah, Season 1 I would probably go with. I don't know. But yeah, that's the story there. That's all we've kind of got to talk about this week. So thank you all anyway for joining. Really very much appreciate it. That is it for the Who Bulletin this week, I do believe. So feel free, if you're not already subscribed, to drop me a little subscription down below. Drop this video a like and get your notifications on for next week. As soon as this live stream ends, we're going to be going live on Twitch. So when this ends, I'll put a thing in the chat. You can click the link in chat and you can continue watching this live stream for the next 2 or so hours. That's right, we're not going anywhere. I mean, we're going to a different streaming platform, but the live stream continues. The show must go on. So yeah, I will hopefully see you all there. And if not, I'll hopefully see you again next week on the Who Bulletin at 7 PM every Tuesday. The next Who Bulletin videos always kind of go live like about a week before, so later on this week, next week's live stream will be available, so you can put your notifications on early, just so you don't forget it. Cool, so I'm going to put the Twitch link in the chat, and yeah, I hope to see you all